Hundreds of mine workers have now surfaced at the Gold One More East mine in Springs, and this is after being underground for 3 days. The National Union of Mine Workers says the miners are currently undergoing a medical evaluation. The union says the workers informed them that there was fighting underground. The miners are reportedly in shock after escaping from others that were holding them captive. Let's talk about these developments now with former trade unionist Frans Baleni, who joins us for more. Good evening to you, Mr. Baleni, and thanks for your time this evening. So, one of the first things is, there are these claims, and we heard again from NUMSA after these workers apparently came to the surface, that knobkerries and other instruments were found underground, and this has been a consistent claim over the last few days. Practically, is it possible for workers in an operation such as this, we're not talking about illegal mining, it's a proper built-up operation, is it possible for workers to take weapons underground?
Good evening, Iman, and good evening to your viewers. Yes, it is possible, not necessarily about carrying weapons from surface to underground. Weapons can be manufactured or prepare any form of instrument you can turn into a weapon underground. Remember, we've got a lot of metal stuff, we've got wood and all those things. You can make anything which from underground and convert it to a weapon.
Okay, all right. So that kind of establishes the probability and reliability of some of the claims that were made that there were these weapons underground, and potentially some people were there against their will. Which brings us to the nub of the matter, Frans. AMCU has consistently said that since March, that operation has about 1,800 workers. Around about March, between March and now, they've managed to secure at least 1,700 of those workers as members, and this is where this dispute pivots. They say that Gold One refused to verify or to recognize or to give them finality on whether they accept that membership. Second of all, that they had also been required to sign a petition, which they say was done. The matter then also went to the CCMA, and that's when a notice to strike and so on was embarked upon. How do you go about establishing who the dominant union is at any operation?
Yeah, firstly, Iman, you need a small number of ringleaders to enforce a hostage or a sit-in. You don't need a large number. Those people, as long as they are armed, they can control a large number of workers. Secondly, with regard to your question, there are established methods of verification of membership. In most instances, we use CCMA, where an independent person come and verify the stop orders to make sure that each member has voluntarily signed an application form of a particular union. And once that is done through that independent person, you can establish to say what percentage each union has, and that can be submitted as evidence.
Who would that independent person be?
In most instances, a CCMA personnel officer can be used to do that. Or you can appoint, parties can agree to appoint a lawyer or an accountant to do the verification. But CCMA is the most used one.
But Gold One could have stopped all of this, right? If it had issued clarity around where that majority membership lies. If AMCU is to be believed, as they say, then they, barring 100 workers, everyone else is their members. We're not sure yet from those members whether there has been, a debit order on their account giving over their membership fees. This could have presumably, even before it got to this stage, been handled and resolved by the employer in the first place.
Not knowing all the facts, Iman, but my past experience tells you that in some instances, a union or unions will be refusing the verification process, and they would say, recognize on the spot. You don't have to go through this exercise. We're not interested. That has resulted in the past to strike action because people didn't want that process. I don't know if that's the case in this case of Goldmark.
It certainly seems to be the chronology of events as narrated by UMCU, that they have followed all of these steps and still they found themselves in this situation which behoved them then to host the sit-in. I want to come to one more thing very quickly, Frans, before we let you go. And this is the concept of the closed shop agreement. And our understanding is that you have a closed shop agreement when you're the majority union so that you can handle negotiations and bargaining with the employer. It seems as if part of the dispute is that the UMCU workers are saying NUM has already pre-negotiated, wage outcomes ahead of next year when they ostensibly would have sat down, to talk. And this has further added fuel to the fire. So maybe just share with us how this closed shop agreement works and whether it would have been in the majority union's prerogative to negotiate in this fashion.
A closed shop agreement, Iman, simply means that a union A, if it reaches a particular percentage of membership, no other union will be recognized in that company. And it's an old system which you used to have even during the apartheid, especially for white workers. In a new democracy, I don't think that closed shop agreements are relevant. What matters is the majoritarian, where a majority union conclude a wage agreement. That agreement binds the minority members and non-unionized members, not necessarily a closed shop arrangements.
Frans, really super quick, what's the best way out of this one now?
The best way out of this is for the parties to engage. If there is an impasse around the membership, embark on that verification process and allow people to have a freedom of choosing which union they want to be. Avoid violence. What we have seen in Marikana in 2012, we pray that it must never be experienced. A loss of life, displacement, and all sorts of pain were inflicted. We don't want to see that.
Former trade unionist Frans Baleni, thank you very much for talking to us tonight. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.